I've now been outside Fiddler's Ferry since December 2008. This is now my 6th winter. We've been here through all the elements, undeterred. So my own personal commitment to highlighting this abhorrent practice, this vile conspiracy of these 44 construction companies is clearly evident. I'm on my 5th year now outside here. I've received only 16 weeks' wages in the last nearly enough 8 years. Prior to coming on there, I spent 2.5 years outside Manchester Royal Infirmary. Prior to that, I'd spent a year outside Manchester Law Courts, highlighting this abhorrent practice, this terrible practice against decent family people. What led to me being here for these 6 years is the fact of a blatant unfair selection for redundancy. I believe as well the unfair selection for redundancy, because I've incurred it before, it was as a direct result of a blacklist that we now know to exist in the construction industry.
It is currently a criminal offence to compile and maintain a blacklist, but not to supply information to a blacklister, solicit information from the controller of a blacklist, or to use one. And it is also unlawful to be excluded or dismissed from employment because of trade union membership, but there is no right not to be blacklisted unless this leads to adverse employment consequences. These are two yawning gaps in the law, and as a result of this debate, the government must take steps to fill both those gaps if this awful malpractice is finally to be stopped.
It's massively widespread. I've got evidence in my own 22-page file, evidence confirmed by Ian Kerr at the courts and in the Scottish Select Committee. There's 3,212 individuals on this blacklist. We've got many organised sites, and as a trade unionist, I believe it's so serious and the ramifications are so serious for every trade unionist in the country. It may need some concerted action from sites, walkouts, whatever it takes. We've got day of actions planned through our policy conference, name and shame the companies, but it may have to come to concerted action. And this issue, it's a massive, crucial issue that's facing the entire labour movement, not just construction. We know blacklists exist elsewhere. That's been confirmed before the Scottish Select Committee and by the ICO. But there's no option for failure here. It's an absolute commitment that we must win this. It's a new human rights issue as much as anything else. Well, the trade unions are finally just now getting on board, with real proper oomph and commitment, and they are committed, all three of the construction unions. Previously, the response had been, in my consideration, had been fairly poor. I've expressed that criticism, but I will say that they're now finally getting on board and expect a solution. When you think about it, you've got, a civilised society, as trade unionists, all decent people, we're abhorrent to any form of discriminatory victimisation, be whatever it be. But for 44 companies to sit down with this conspiracy, to sit down with the police and the security services and to have such an elaborate plan with the intention of deliberately and permanently, indefinitely denying decent lads, decent family people the right to earn a living, it's an absolute disgrace.